All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read-alouds there will brighten their day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teacher Lady Show. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Behind the Book. I'm Miss Erica, the Teacher Lady, your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. Now, every single week on the Teacher Lady Show, we have a new topic. And this week's topic is all about homelessness. It is about teaching children how to respond to homelessness, what homelessness is, but it's also a week dedicated to those families who are homeless, okay? So be sure to check out the Teacher Lady Speaks episode, which airs Friday, because if your family is in a transition period, there are a lot of resources and insight that I share to help you through it, from a person who has also been in your situation. Now, for today's Behind the Book review, we are going to be talking about poverty and hunger. If you have not done so yet, be sure to check out the read aloud that was posted on Monday so that you have more context as we go through the close of this episode, what I think was done well, the grows, what I think could have been done differently, who this book is for, and how do you utilize it as a resource to talk about such a challenging subject. All in this episode of Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. Summary in my own words. This book is a very dictionary-like book in the sense that it gives information and definitions for words that we're constantly hearing. Words like poverty, hunger, homelessness. And for me, each page, it has a definition and just a general explanation of what that thing is. So, for example, there is a section that says talk about it, where at the end of the book, after they have gone through all these definitions, they remind the child that they can talk about the things that they're feeling. There is a page that says people who help, and a page that says the cost of war. And so it's a way to kind of explain all of these things around poverty so that children can better understand it. Take home messages and target age group. There isn't a lot of take home messages. I would say that the book is very definition based. In the back of the book, there are some ways that children can help. And so there might be a bit of a message about kind of helping, but it's not really enforced. It's more so we hear these words on the news and we're constantly talking about these things, and a lot of children do not understand them. So the book is used as a tool and a resource to explain what these things mean. In terms of target age group, I would say about 6 years old for neurotypical children who are starting the reading process and can generally understand things around compassion and empathy. So I would say 6 years old and up will probably be a good age to read this book. Who this book is for, I would say that this book might benefit schools, educational institutions, to have it as a resource so that as you talk about different subjects and children are not clearly understanding, you can go grab for it. I think that it's important for children to understand things like refugees, war, global warming, kind of all of these buzzwords that keep flying around that children constantly hear. But honestly, even a lot of adults don't get it. And so I would put this book wherever there are a bunch of children. You can definitely have it on the shelf so that as things come up, you are able to access it. Glows. I think the book is very straightforward. It's a book around different issues pertaining to poverty, pertaining to homelessness, so on and so forth. I would also say that the simplicity of the images and the diversity of the images are also a glow, because so often when we're sharing stories, we want to be mindful that we are not playing into stereotypes around what type of people are homeless or what type of people are experiencing poverty. But this book does not do that. It definitely has different ethnic backgrounds, different racial backgrounds, so on and so forth, featured on every page. Grows. For me, the book is very flat. I think that when you are teaching children and trying to get them to understand something, a bit of an actual story goes a long way. I also don't care for the fact that the constant word of poor people and poor people this and poor people. I think there is a lot more power in saying people who are impoverished, people who are experiencing transition. I think words are very important. I think that we have to be mindful to not make it seem like those are the people that are a burden on the rest of the world, yet and still they're going through transitions. But I do appreciate that the book gives a variety of reasons as to why a person might become impoverished. I just want to be mindful of us calling people poor. And I also do want to make a note that this book was published in Canada. So there might be something there in terms of societal context of, how we speak in the United States of America versus Canada and things of that nature, So I always want to just put out all the information so that you have what you need in order to figure it out for yourself. In terms of discussion points, since every single page is kind of a new definition, you can go page by page and just have a conversation with your child. You can have a conversation with them around global warming. You can have a conversation with them around charity, so on and so forth. It is a pretty straightforward text, and so I don't think you would be too challenged in having a conversation. Just kind of let the book guide you. Thank you so much for sitting through such a challenging topic. Please make sure you check out the rest of the resources that I have this week. If you did not know, I am also an author and an illustrator. So check out my work as well as the Empathy Library, which is a pay-it-forward program to get books to children in need on purpose. The libraries are intentional, so they reflect the identity of that child. Thank you for learning with me, for growing with me, and for being part of this book-loving community. Until next time, you remember to enjoy the moment or go be a joy in the moment. Bye.